Now, before we talk about NS Coder and how we can start saving our custom objects to file, we first have to understand a concept known as sandboxing. Now, here's a scenario. Say if I have two apps which are running on the same phone, and one of my apps, say inside Klima, I have some malicious software, and I try to infect the other apps on the same phone. And maybe my code's intention is to mess up the other apps, or maybe I'm trying to get secure data from the other apps. And if your weather app starts stealing data from your banking apps on the same phone, then you have a huge problem. And so in iOS, this problem is solved by something known as sandboxing. So imagine that all of your apps on your phone live inside their own sandboxes. And a sandbox is nothing more than just a sheltered environment, or maybe you can consider it as a little mini prison for your app. So each of the apps has their own folders to store files and documents that are associated with the app. And so when your to-do list app needs to save or retrieve data, it can do so by reading and writing to that documents folder. But it can't get access to another app's document folder. Instead, what happens is that every time your phone syncs with iCloud, or when you plug it into your laptop and you sync it with iTunes, then all of these document folders gets backed up either online or locally to your laptop. So say if you go out and buy a brand new phone, any data that your app has saved to that documents folder doesn't get deleted. Instead, it will constantly sync with iCloud or with iTunes, and it will remain available for you to be able to read and write to it and grab the data that's been stored in it throughout the lifetime of the app. So in other words, because you have this backed up permanent storage solution, it doesn't matter if you change phones, if you update your operating system, if you download new versions of the app, you still have your personal data safely stored somewhere where the app can get access to. Now, sandboxing doesn't just apply to individual apps. It also means that apps themselves can't affect the operating system's code. So you can't write a malicious app to grab the secure data from the operating system. For example, the user's fingerprints or their contacts. And this is also one of the reasons why the iPhone is considered to be far safer and more secure when compared to other phones and other operating systems. But it also means that sadly, you can't make cool apps that changes the operating system's settings. So for example, one of the apps that I really wanted to make is an app where when I turn my phone to be face down onto the table, i.e. when the proximity sensors detect that it's occluded, then I want my app to automatically switch my phone into do not disturb mode, because it usually means that I'm either having a conversation or I'm having dinner or I'm trying to work on something. And that would be really awesome. But without jailbreaking the iPhone, which is really not recommended, there's no way of implementing this on iOS. So there's benefits to sandboxing and there's also costs to sandboxing. But this is something that we have to work with as an iOS developer. And in the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to get access to your documents folder inside your apps and how to start saving your custom objects to that directory. So for all of that and more on the next lesson.